Hi there, this is my video submission for the KV Capital's Comp Analysis Hackathon. My name is Jason Hall. I'm a senior software engineer, and I use technology to help leadership regain control over their company's futures without compromising their vision. This is KV's challenge as I see it. KV Capital finances home builders. Every deal needs a comp analysis, comparable recent sales to support a value estimate. It's manual, multi-source, and slow. This tool automates that workflow. This tool provides three key values. Low cost. We're sitting at under 5 cents a query for residential and under 15 cents a query for commercial. It's AI agent agnostic. Although the application is currently configured to work with either Claude's or OpenAI's APIs, we can use any agentic AI. It's easy to maintain. This application is built using a common, ubiquitous stack. Python for the application, Fast API for the AI interaction, PostgreSQL for the database, and for the front end, it's Next.js and TypeScript. Let me take you on a tour. So I'm going to go a little bit backwards here. Normally we would focus on methodology, but in this case, we're going to just kind of focus right in on the actual use of the application. Typically, you would start your search with a certain bit of criteria, and here you would have your address, your city, your type of home, you name it, bedrooms, bathrooms, all those goodies. There's going to be future expansion for garages and basements, but for now, we'll just deal with these. And for convenience, I've got these demo presets in just so I can demonstrate what a high confidence and low confidence result looks like. Let's run this comp analysis. Okay, you can see here now that the search comps, we've got 10 comparables found. Again, this is, we know this is going to be a good result. Everything's within 2 kilometers radius. It's all within the last 10 months. We can calculate adjustments. We've got 10 comps that have been adjusted. We've got one outlier that's been flagged, which we'll see. And we can also get a little bit of market context coming back from the agent. We can see that it's a seller market. It's up 3.1% versus the prior 6 months, and the average is 41 days on the market. Hitting dismiss here, you'll see that it immediately spawns in all these windows, and it talks a little bit about Claude usage here. One of the components that is missing, maybe from the requirement, but something that I always like to involve is how much does this cost us? And right now we're looking at just under 5 cents per query. Up top, we get the same window that we had before with graphical representations of where the outliers were and where these were pulled from. So if you're familiar with the environment, obviously it gives you a little sense of kind of what's going on there. You'll see that we've got our estimated value in here with a low or a minimum, a maximum, and a midpoint is what's going to be the target price here. We have flags denoting all of our different elements, which ones were outliers, which expansions were required, and relative comps that are, kind of note in that mix. We've got a valuation summary. It's got a little bit of that AI kind of EM dash, but those are things that we can refine inside of our API calls. But we get a valuation summary in real English so that we can engage with it. There's a price distribution graph in here as well, which very clearly kind of denotes what the value is, the valuation, the adjusted price based on our criteria, and what the actual sale price was. So we can see which ones were a big stretch in that particular area. We've also got a spot here where we can look at all those individual data points. You can see our outlier is here, and that gets reflected in the chart as we're kind of surfing around. We can see that on higher resolution monitors. On this one here, you can see that we've got a breakdown of all of our pricing in here. So this is the math behind those adjustments, which is nice to be able to dive deep on. See, is it because of the age? Is it because it doesn't have another bathroom or something to that effect? So we'll be able to get this all in here, and it gives us a distance, of course, so we can even refine it as we look. If in fact we're looking for our methodology, you can see in here that this is all defined and where we're pulling those data points from. At any point in time, if we wanted to make any changes, for example, I know that after the SAM call that our adjustment really needs to be, instead of 15%, it needs to be 20%. We can go in here, we can edit, and then we can change that outlier flag threshold to 20%, save those changes, and then the next time we run this, we'll be doing this at 20%. We'll see that when we do that extra piece that's in there. Before I moved in, I just wanted to say that from an appearance perspective, you can see here that we have a KV Capital branded element here. If we do a dark mode, because all nerds need a dark mode, you can see that that branding is also present. This thing is ready to go either for your underwriters or if it's going to be client facing. With all that taken a look at, let's look at something that is a little less confidence. Let's look at one of the rural ones here. Again, you can modify any of these into just pre-canned elements. If I run the comp analysis here, you can see that after a few seconds, it will pull up. Okay, here we go. You can see that we've had no comparables found, so we had to expand the search. We did a search, we expanded once, and then we expanded a second time to get a kind of a larger expansion. We did two comps adjusted that were there, and an outlier was flagged. We get some market context as per before. However, with this one, you're going to see that there's a little bit of a change. So we tried to find something in the rural areas that was close. We have our outlier elements that are in there. We have our expansions that were applied in here. And we can really see very much the same type of thing, but this is a low confidence where the other was a high confidence. Again, our graphic reflects all of that. And then we can see the different elements that are in here. Our outlier here is you can see that our adjustment has been applied to that as well. If you're ever looking for those equation methodologies, it's all in here. Again, completely changeable from time to time. This one cost us a little bit less because we've already cached. On the commercial side, we can see here that it's very much the same type of interface. We're just using a different set of metrics with a different set of requirements. I know that it was suggested as maybe a possible element in the hackathon, but I wanted to go and just say that we use the same methodology in here as well. You'll see that we have our Altus grouping here, and that's what's kind of informing some of the decisions on the commercial side. So we lean more on income, the size, the age, building classes, things like that here. But it shows that we can actually take these results, and although it's a little bit more of an expensive token run, we can still do that type of deep analysis even on the corporate side. Because this is high confidence in here, with those values that we've had, you can see that there's no flags, and it's just a clean comp set all the way through. At any point in time, once we've issued our analysis, we can, if we want an actual report, we can download a PDF, which looks a lot like this, and it breaks down all that same information in a nice clean report. Now there's some formatting there obviously that we can play around with, but this is, again, just for the purposes of the scope of what we're playing with. I think this is a good indicator, but there's a branded report that comes out as a result of this as well. I want to thank you for this opportunity, and thank you to KV Capital for sponsoring this hackathon.